All right, folks, I'm Kyle Lamb with Viking Tactics. We've been making our slings for years, and we've always made them a little bit long so that we've got bigger operators out there that might be carrying more gear. We also have folks that will put these on a shotgun, so we wanted to make sure that the sling was long enough. That being said, sometimes we get feedback from our customers that say, man, this sling is way too long. Well, that's actually intentional. So today I want to show you how to fix a frayed end like we have right here. This sling was actually returned by one of our customers. He said it was defective because the end of a nylon piece of material frayed. It's not defective, that's just what happens when you break that burnt end. I'm going to show you how to fix that, and I'm also going to show you how I re-sling this so that when I retrace it, I can actually lock that in place. Okay, for me, I normally don't cut the ends. The reason for that is I don't want them to fray, and sometimes I may want to adjust that sling a little bit longer. So I normally take the ends, roll them up, and then I tape them down with Gorilla Tape or duct tape. But let's say that you've pulled your sling out, you have a little frayed section like this right here, and you want to fix it. One method is you can simply take a set of scissors, cut that off, and burn it. The problem with that is you get a lot of big globs of burnt material at the end. The other option is if you happen to be a parachute rigger, you have what's called a hot knife. You can take that hot knife, turn it on, it's kind of like a soldering iron. You can take it and make a very clean cut. Well, I'm not a rigger, I don't have a hot knife, so I'm going to show you how to do this with just the tools that you might have handy. First thing I'm going to use is just a piece of normal packing tape. This is just transparent tape. There's nothing slick about it, just a regular old piece of tape. I'm going to take that tape and I'm going to wrap it around the sling in the area where I want to make my cut. And I haven't done a really perfect job on this. I've just got it on there to hold all that material in place. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my knife, and I happen to be using just a box cutter here. I'm going to make the cut in the angle that I want it to be. I'm just going to match the cut of the current angle. I'm just going to simply take my knife and I'm going to make a cut at that angle. So once I do that, I simply cut through the material until it's completely cut. This knife is not the sharpest, but this material is pretty strong material. So there I have a pre-cut, just wrapped in clear plastic tape. The next thing I'm going to do is going to take the lighter and I'm going to burn that end. Now when I burn that end, I'm not real worried about that tape. If you're going to use any other kind of tape, just make sure that the tape that you use is not super flammable. This plastic tape kind of melts, but that's it. It doesn't start on fire and create a lot of noxious fumes. It's just lets you burn it. So once I've burnt that end down to where I think it's good, and I've done this a few times so I know kind of where that point might be. And you can actually see as I burn it, some of that tape actually peeled itself back. Okay, once you've got this very nice and hot, I'm going to show you another technique that I use to make it easier to go through your buckles, and normally I don't burn it this much. Once it's hot, I just simply take my lighter, and I pull it across the end to kind of push everything together. Now this is still relatively hot, so I'm going to let that cool down a little bit, and I don't know, I normally wait about a minute before that's done. Once this is cooled down, I'm going to take my knife again, cut my piece of plastic tape off, which is pretty simple. Get up under here and do all of that. Take the tape off, and now I've fixed that end. This one's still a little hot, but that gives you a nice clean cut. Here's another one that I did kind of in a hurry, and you can see it's a very, very clean cut and burn. Now if you're rough on this and you start pulling on it, you can get it to fray again, but normally that's not what's going to happen. So I've made my cut, and now I want to make sure that I've got my sling swivels in the right spot. So I look at the length, that looks about right. I'm going to take this sling and I've run it on the back side of my tri-glides. I run it through each one of those like such, and there's kind of the finished product. Now the problem with that is we still have this tail. Now notice, if I want to stow this tail, I can roll it up and I can tape it, or another good way to do that is just simply run this behind your buckle. Sometimes this material is a little bit tight going through the buckles. So once I get it running through that buckle, I simply pull it down, and I've created a lock that will never come loose. absolutely won't come loose in these plastic tri-glides. The reason we put 2 plastic tri-glides on there is I've been able to break 1, but I've never been able to break 2. When I was doing destructive tests when we first designed this, that's why we put those on. You can continue to run that through the back of this buckle as well. Okay folks, so if you have one of the VTAC slings and you're out there and you're saying it's defective, simply tape it off, cut it off, fix it like that, and you'll be squared away. The good thing about it is if you screw it up or if you don't have time to put the tape on there, you can just cut it with a scissors, cut it with a knife, and burn it down until it's good for your taste. I like to cut it at an angle. I seem to have better luck with that technique, and it also makes it easier to get through these buckles. All right, folks, I'm Kyle Lamb. Check us out at VikingTactics.com, and we'll see you on the range.